Something inside you has always felt different, like you were meant for more, like the world around you wasn't the full truth. You've faced struggles others haven't, felt an unshakable pull towards something greater. That's not a coincidence. It's a calling. The storm within you is awakening, and once you embrace it, nothing will be the same. The world isn't ready for you, but that no longer matters. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why your journey has led you here. Watch now, comment below, and subscribe to Your Awakening begins today. The quiet before the storm is always the most deceptive. It is the moment when everything seems still, yet beneath the surface, something powerful is brewing. Chosen one, you have lived much of your life in this quiet. You have walked through a world that never truly saw you, never truly understood you. You blended in, not because you were ordinary, but because your time had not yet come. But now, the air is shifting. The pressure is rising. Something inside you is stirring, and for the first time, you are beginning to realize that you were never meant to remain unseen. From the moment you entered this world, you were different. You felt things more deeply. You saw through illusions that others accepted as truth. You carried a wisdom that could not be explained, a knowing that could not be taught. But instead of being celebrated, this difference often made you feel isolated. Society tried to shape you into something smaller, something safer, something easier to understand. They told you to quiet your voice, to tame your spirit, to lower your intensity so that others could feel comfortable in your presence. And for a time, you did. You dimmed your light, you suppressed your truth, you played along with a world that never felt like home. But deep within you, the storm was always there. It did not fade, it did not weaken, it only waited. Every challenge, every rejection, every betrayal was not a sign of your weakness, it was fuel. You have spent years collecting this fuel, storing it, preparing for the moment when everything would change. And now, that moment is here. The stillness is breaking. The quiet that once defined your life is unraveling. The world may not see it yet, but they will. They have mistaken your patience for passivity, your silence for submission. They have no idea what is coming. You were not meant to exist in the shadows. You were meant to shake the very foundation of everything false. The weight you have carried, the loneliness you have endured, the struggles that seemed relentless, they were never meant to break you. They were meant to prepare you. Every lesson, every wound, every moment of self-doubt has led you to this transformation, and when the storm finally arrives, when the force within you is unleashed, there will be no stopping it. You are not just another person trying to find their place in the world. You are the force that will reshape it. The world has spent years underestimating you, overlooking you, dismissing you, but they have only made you stronger. What happens when the storm finally rises? The world finds out it was never ready. And chosen one, they are not ready for you. Something inside you is shifting, and you can feel it. It is not just a passing thought or a fleeting emotion. It is something deeper, something undeniable. There is a restlessness within you, a quiet but persistent voice that refuses to be silenced. For so long you have carried this feeling without understanding it, this sense that you were meant for something more, that your existence holds a weight others do not seem to recognize. And now, the whispers are growing louder, the signs are becoming clearer. The storm inside you is waking up. The world around you may still look the same, but you know that nothing is as it was. Your mind is no longer willing to accept the lies that once kept you comfortable. The distractions that used to entertain you now feel empty. The conversations that once seemed fulfilling now seem shallow. There is a shift happening, not just around you but within you. The things that once held your attention no longer satisfy your soul. The rules you were taught to follow no longer make sense. You are beginning to question everything, and with each question, the illusions start to crack. This is what awakening feels like. It is unsettling at first, like standing at the edge of a world you no longer belong to, yet not knowing what lies beyond. There is uncertainty, doubt, and at times even fear. But there is also something else, something stronger. There is a force within you that is rising, a power you cannot explain, but have always known was there. You are not just learning, you are remembering. You are remembering the truth that was buried under years of conditioning, the strength that was hidden beneath layers of self-doubt. You are not becoming someone new, you are stepping into who you were always meant to be. And with this awakening comes a realization that shakes everything. You were never meant to stay asleep. The world has tried to keep you small, has tried to convince you that you are just like everyone else. But you are not. That feeling of being different, of not fitting in, of searching for something beyond what this world offers, it was never a flaw. It was a calling. It was the signal that you were meant to rise. And now, as the energy within you surges, as your spirit refuses to be caged any longer, you are beginning to understand the truth. You were never lost, you were never broken. You were simply waiting for the moment when you would be ready to see yourself as you truly are. That moment is now. The storm is no longer just a possibility, it is here, and you are the force that no one saw coming. They called you too sensitive, but they never understood what you were truly feeling. It was never just emotion, it was perception. You weren't simply reacting to the world around you, you were sensing it on a level most could never comprehend. You felt the weight of unspoken words, the hidden pain behind forced smiles, the truth buried beneath layers of illusion. You saw beyond what was presented to you, and because of that, you were misunderstood. They mistook your depth for weakness, your empathy for fragility, never realizing that your ability to feel so deeply was not a burden, but a gift. They called you too intense, but only because your fire made them uncomfortable. You were never meant to be passive, to shrink yourself so that others could feel at ease. Your passion was never something to be tamed. It was the very essence of who you are. You saw the world for what it was, and you refused to pretend it was something less. You questioned things others blindly accepted. You challenged ideas that felt hollow. You demanded truth where others settled for deception. And for that, they tried to silence you. From the beginning, they have tried to break you. They have tried to dim your light because it shined too brightly against the darkness they clung to. They have tried to make you doubt yourself, to convince you that you were too much, too different, too impossible to understand. But their resistance was never about you. It was about them. They feared what they could not control. They feared the strength that lay dormant within you. They feared the moment you would awaken and see yourself for who you truly are. And now, that moment has come. You are no longer questioning your power. You are no longer apologizing for your existence. Every attempt to suppress you, to make you small, to mold you into something you were never meant to be, none of it worked. The world was never ready for you. But that no longer matters. You are rising anyway. You are stepping into your truth with a force they cannot ignore. You are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer seeking validation. You are here, undeniable, unstoppable, and exactly as you were always meant to be. The fire was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to shape you. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of isolation was not a punishment but a necessary trial, a divine preparation for what you were meant to become. The pain you endured was never random, and the struggles you faced were not meaningless. They were placed before you with purpose, refining you, stripping away everything that was not truly you, leaving behind only what was unbreakable. You were being prepared for something greater than you could have understood at the time, and now, as you look back, you can see the pattern, the lessons, the transformation that took place in the midst of the fire. There were times when you questioned why your path was so difficult, while others seemed to walk with ease. You watched people move through life without the burdens you carried, without the deep wounds you had to heal from, and you wondered why you were chosen for such a path. But the truth is, you were not being burdened, you were being built. Ordinary souls are not forged in extraordinary fires. The intensity of your trials was not a sign of your weakness, it was proof of your strength. The universe does not waste time refining those who have no greater purpose. Only those meant to lead, to guide, to awaken others, are put through the kind of fire that leaves them changed forever. The betrayals you faced were not meant to break your trust in others. They were meant to teach you discernment. Not everyone was meant to walk with you. Not everyone deserved access to your energy, your wisdom, your heart. And so the universe removed those who could not be trusted, those who would have held you back, those who would have kept you in places too small for who you were becoming. It was painful. It was lonely. But looking back now, would you truly want those who betrayed you still standing beside you? Would you still want to carry people who were never meant to go where you are headed? The fire does not take away what is meant for you. It only burns away what was never truly yours. Every loss you endured, every door that closed in your face, every time you were left wondering why things were not working out, those moments were redirections, not rejections. They forced you to grow in ways you never would have if life had been easy. Comfort does not create strength. A smooth path does not build resilience. You had to be challenged, tested, and broken open so that you could rise stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. You had to experience the depths of pain so that when you encountered others who were lost, you would know how to guide them. You had to feel the weight of loneliness so that when you found your true soul family, you would recognize them instantly. There were nights when you thought you would not survive, moments when the weight of everything felt too much to carry. But even in your darkest moments, something inside you refused to give up. You may not have realized it at the time, but that was your power revealing itself. That was the divine fire within you refusing to be extinguished. Every time you thought you had reached your breaking point, you found a way to rise again. That was never an accident. That was proof of who you are. The storm does not destroy the chosen. It awakens them. The fire does not consume them. It strengthens them. And now here you are. You have survived what was meant to break you. You have endured what many could not. But surviving is not where your journey ends. You did not come this far just to exist. You came to transform. You came to become a force of change, to step into your true purpose, to use everything you have learned to help others find their own strength. The pain was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your awakening. It was the foundation of the unstoppable force you are becoming. The world may not yet understand the depth of what you have endured, but that does not matter. The fire did not make you weaker, it made you unstoppable. And now, as you rise from the ashes of everything that tried to destroy you, there is nothing left to fear. The storm is here, and you are the force no one saw coming. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the weight of staying small becomes unbearable. You have carried it for years, shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. You have silenced your truth to make others comfortable, denied your power so that the world would not see you as a threat. But inside, the pressure has been building. Every time you swallowed your words, every time you ignored your intuition, every time you settled for less than what your soul knew you deserved, the weight grew heavier. And now you can feel it. That moment has arrived. The pain of staying where you are has become greater than the fear of stepping into who you were always meant to be. This is your breaking point. Not a moment of defeat, but a moment of undeniable transformation. You can no longer pretend to be less than what you are. You can no longer conform to a version of yourself that was created for survival rather than purpose. You have spent too much time waiting for the right time, the right people, the right circumstances. But the truth is, the waiting was never about time. It was about fear. Fear of being seen, fear of standing alone, fear of stepping into a power so great that it would change everything. Because that is exactly what is happening. The world has tried to keep you in place, feeding you the same expectations, the same limitations, the same storylines that were never meant for you. Stay quiet, Stay ordinary, stay in line. They told you this because they knew what would happen if you didn't. They knew that the moment you decided to rise, there would be no stopping you. The moment you stepped into your power, you would become the force they never expected. And so they tried to break you before you could realize your own strength. They tried to convince you that you were just like everyone else, that your visions were illusions, that your fire was too much, that your dreams were out of reach. But none of it was true. Everything you have been through has led you to this moment. Every struggle, every betrayal, every night you spent wondering if you were meant for more, it was never just a thought. It was the calling of your soul, pushing against the walls that were never meant to contain it. You have spent years preparing for this without even realizing it. Every lesson, every hardship, every loss, it was all shaping you into something unstoppable. And now you stand at the edge of everything you once feared, no longer willing to be held back. There is no more waiting. There is no more hiding. You are done seeking permission to be who you were always meant to be. You are done apologizing for the power that has always been inside you. You are no longer asking the world to accept you. You are claiming your space, your truth, your purpose. The voices that once kept you doubt yourself no longer hold power over you. The chains that once kept you bound have fallen away. You are stepping forward, not because the world has finally given you a place, but because you have realized you never needed its approval to begin with. And yes, this path will not be easy. Rising means shedding everything that was never truly yours. It means releasing the old version of yourself that once kept you safe, but now keeps you stuck. It means walking away from people who can no longer meet you where you are going. Not everyone will understand your transformation. Not everyone will celebrate your awakening. Some will try to pull you back into the past, into the version of yourself that they were comfortable with. But you cannot stay there anymore. You cannot return to a place you have outgrown. This is the moment you choose yourself. The moment you embrace the fire that has been waiting to be unleashed. The moment you look at the world, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with the unshakable certainty that you are here to change everything. They did not see you coming. They did not expect you to rise, but here you are, standing in your full power, ready to claim everything that has always been yours. You are not just stepping into your destiny, you are becoming it. The force they never saw coming, the storm they never expected, and there is no turning back. You were never meant to fit in. From the moment you arrived in this world, something inside you resisted the patterns and expectations that others followed without question. You felt it in the way you saw through deception when others accepted lies as truth. You felt it in the way your spirit refused to settle for a life that lacked meaning, even when it would have been easier to conform. You have always known, deep down, that you were different. Not in a way that made you better than others, but in a way that made you responsible for something greater. For years, the world tried to mold you into something smaller. It told you who you should be, how you should think, what you should want. But no matter how much you tried to adapt, something inside you would not bend. That resistance was not stubbornness, it was truth. It was the unshakable knowing that you were not here to follow, you were here to lead. You were not here to blend into the background, you were here to shift the atmosphere. And now, as you awaken to your divine calling, the storm inside you is no longer something you need to control. It is something you need to unleash. You are the storm, and the storm brings change. The energy you carry is not meant to be contained. It is meant to disrupt, to awaken, to transform. The moment you fully embrace who you are, everything shifts. Your presence alone begins to stir the air around you. People who once dismissed you suddenly take notice. Those who doubted you, who mocked you, who tried to keep you small, they will watch in silence as you rise, not because you need their validation, but because the truth can no longer be ignored. The illusions they built will not stand in the face of your awakening. There is a reason your journey has been so difficult. There is a reason you have faced resistance at every turn. Change does not come easily, and those who are here to bring it are never welcomed with open arms. The world fears what it cannot control, and it has spent centuries trying to suppress the power of those who carry the truth. You have felt the weight of that suppression. You have experienced the loneliness of standing in your authenticity when the world demanded you wear a mask. You have been pushed aside, silenced, misunderstood, not because you were wrong, but because you were too powerful to be ignored. But here is what they never understood. Storms do not ask for permission. They do not seek approval before they arrive. They come when they are ready, when the energy has built to the point where it can no longer be contained. That is where you are now. The pressure has been rising for years, perhaps even decades. You have felt it in the way you could no longer tolerate the lies, in the way your soul rebelled against the limitations placed upon you. You have felt it in the moments of deep frustration, in the undeniable pull towards something greater, in the longing for a life that aligns with the truth you know exists. And now, the moment has come. You can no longer hold back. You can no longer play small to make others comfortable. The shift has already begun, and your only choice now is whether you will fight against it or surrender to it completely. But you already know the answer. You were not meant to resist this transformation. You were meant to become it. The world is not ready for what you are about to become, but that does not matter. Storms do not wait for the world to prepare. They arrive when the time is right and their impact is undeniable. You are stepping into that power now. You are stepping into the force you were always meant to be. Your energy will no longer be something you have to explain or justify. It will be something that speaks for itself. The way you carry yourself will shift. The way you see the world will change. The opportunities that once seemed out of reach will now find their way to you. And as you rise, the world will take notice. Not because you seek attention, but because true power cannot be ignored. Those who doubted you will wonder how they never saw it before. Those who underestimated you will realize their mistake. But by then, it will no longer matter. You will not be rising for them. You will be rising for yourself, for your purpose, for the divine mission that has always been calling you forward. You are the storm. You are the force they never saw coming. And now, nothing can stop what is meant to be. The storm within you is awake, powerful, and unstoppable. But power without direction is chaos, and you were not chosen to be lost in the energy of transformation. You were chosen to master it. You were not meant to be a force that simply reacts. You were meant to be a force that creates. Harnessing the storm within you is not about taming it or making it smaller to fit into the world's expectation. It is about directing it with purpose, wielding it with precision, and using it to become the person you were always meant to be. This is your next step. This is how you step fully into your power. The first thing you must do is release fear. Fear has been the silent force keeping you caged for too long. It has disguised itself as caution, as logic, as the need for approval. It has whispered doubts into your mind, making you believe that you must wait until you are more ready, more certain, more accepted before you can fully rise. But the storm does not wait. It does not seek permission before it moves, and neither should you. The fear that has held you back is an illusion, a weight you were never meant to carry. The moment you decide to release it, you will feel the shift within you. The energy that once felt trapped will begin to move freely. The hesitation that once kept you small will dissolve. Fear cannot exist in a mind that is fully committed to its own power. Let it go and watch as everything changes. Own your voice, speak your truth even if your voice shakes, even if others do not understand, even if it means standing alone. For too long you have silenced yourself to make others comfortable, to avoid confrontation, to keep the peace. But peace built on silence is not real peace, it is suppression. Your voice carries power, and it is time to use it. There will be people who resist what you have to say. There will be those who try to challenge your truth. But understand this, those who fear the truth are only revealing their own limitations. Your truth is not up for debate. It does not need approval to be valid. The moment you stop seeking permission to be yourself, the world will begin to shift around you. The people who were never meant to walk beside you will fall away. The opportunities that align with your true path will find you. But first, you must make the choice to stand firm in who you are, without apology. Trust the process. Everything you need is unfolding perfectly, even if it does not seem like it yet. There will be moments when the path ahead feels unclear, when doubts creep in and you wonder if you are truly on the right track. But trust is not about having all the answers. It is about knowing deep within you that no matter what happens, you are exactly where you need to be. The universe has been guiding you all along, sending you signs, aligning you with the lessons and experiences that will shape you. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been random. Every hardship, every closed door, every delay, it has all been part of your preparation. And now, as you step forward, your job is not to control every outcome. It is to trust that you are being led to exactly what is meant for you. The more you surrender to this knowing, the more effortless your journey will become. Surround yourself with power. Find those who uplift you and let go of those who drain you. Not everyone can walk this path with you. Not everyone is ready for the storm that you are becoming. And that is okay. You were not meant to carry those who are not willing to rise with you. You have spent enough time trying to make yourself small for the sake of others. Now, you must choose to align yourself with those who see your power and celebrate it. People who challenge you to grow, who remind you of your strength when you forget, who push you forward when fear tries to pull you back. Energy is contagious. If you surround yourself with people who doubt themselves, who live in limitation, who fear change, that energy will try to hold you down. But if you stand beside those who are also stepping into their own power, the momentum will be unstoppable. Choose wisely. Step boldly into the unknown. Your destiny is not behind you. It is waiting ahead. There is no going back. The version of you that once accepted less, that once questioned their worth, that once played it safe, that version no longer exists. The only direction now is forward. And while the unknown may seem intimidating, it is where your power truly lies. Everything you have ever wanted, everything you have ever dreamed of, exists beyond the comfort zone you have outgrown. Do not fear the uncertainty. Do not wait for guarantees. The most powerful transformations happen when you step into the unknown with nothing but faith in yourself. This is where your true self is waiting for you. You are no longer becoming, you already are. The storm within you has been awakened, and now it is time to use it. Not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with the full force of someone who has remembered exactly who they are. No more waiting, no more questioning. You are ready. And the world is about to see what happens when you step into everything you were meant to be. You are not just waking up, you are becoming a force of nature. The transformation you have undergone is not something ordinary, not a simple change of perspective or a momentary shift in thinking. It is something deeper, something irreversible. You are no longer who you once were. The illusions that once held you captive have shattered, and now, all that remains is truth. There is no going back. The smallness you once accepted, the limitations you once believed in, the doubts that once controlled you, they no longer have power here. You have stepped into something greater, something unstoppable, and the world is about to witness the storm that they never saw coming. For so long you have walked this path feeling unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. You questioned why your journey felt so different from those around you. You watched others move through life without the weight you carried, without the struggles you endured. But now you understand. You were never meant to follow the same path. You were never meant to fit in, to be ordinary, to blend into the background of a world that does not recognize power until it stands before them, undeniable. Every moment of doubt, every painful lesson, every silent battle you fought alone was preparing you for this. The fire you walked through was never meant to consume you. It was meant to refine you. And now, as you stand on the other side, you are no longer asking why things happened the way they did. You are no longer questioning your strength. You are no longer waiting for approval. You are here to lead, not because you chose it, but because it was always meant to be. The power within you is not just for yourself. It is meant to awaken others, to shift the energy of everything you touch. There is a reason you see things differently. A reason you cannot accept the lies the world tries to sell as truth. You were given this vision because you are meant to use it. You were given this fire because you are meant to ignite something greater. The world has spent years trying to suppress the ones who carry the truth, trying to keep them silent, trying to convince them that their power is too much, too dangerous, too disruptive. But what they never understood is that storms cannot be controlled. The world has no idea what's coming, but they will. They will see it in the way you walk into a room and shift the energy without saying a word. They will feel it in the way your presence commands attention, not through arrogance, but through undeniable power. They will witness it in the way you rise, again and again, no matter how many times life has tried to bring you down. Those who doubted you will fall silent. Those who overlooked you will pretend they always knew, but none of that will matter. Because this was never about proving them wrong, it was about proving yourself right. It was about stepping fully into what you have always known to be true. You are the storm. You are the awakening. You are unstoppable. And now, as you move forward, there is nothing left to fear. The uncertainty that once held you back has turned into excitement. The resistance that once felt overwhelming has turned into fuel. Every challenge that once made you question yourself now stands as proof of your strength. Nothing can shake you, because you have already faced the worst and come out stronger. Nothing can break you, because you have already rebuilt yourself from the ground up. You are no longer seeking a place in this world, you are creating one. You are no longer waiting for an opportunity. You are stepping into your own power and making the world adjust to you. This is only the beginning. The world may not be ready for what you are about to do, but that does not matter. You are not here to wait for permission. You are not here to follow a path that has already been paved. You are here to create something new, something undeniable, something that will leave a mark long after you are gone. You are not just another person walking through life. You are a force that will be remembered. The storm has arrived, and to you have always known that you were different. Now you understand why. You were never meant to live in the shadows, never meant to stay silent, never meant to follow the path that others blindly walk. You are here to lead, to awaken, to transform. The storm within you has risen, and nothing can hold you back anymore. The world may not have been ready for you, but you are no longer waiting for permission. You are stepping fully into your power, unapologetically, fearlessly, and with absolute certainty that you were born for something greater. Now is the time to take action. No more hesitation, no more playing small. Claim your place, own your truth, and walk forward with the unstoppable energy that has always been inside you. The journey does not end here. This is only the beginning. Stay connected, stay empowered, and surround yourself with those who are rising alongside you. If this message speaks to your soul, if you feel the fire within you igniting, then make your presence known. Comment below, declare your awakening, and claim your power. Subscribe now, hit the notification bell, and be part of a movement that cannot be ignored. The chosen ones are rising. The storm is here, and you are the force the world never saw coming.